For users who have the Boss Mode plan, you have access to one of the best tools within the Jasper world, Documents. Documents provide an endless playground of possibilities when creating content. Let's walk through the different functions available to you when interacting with a document. When you click the Compose button, or Command-J on a Mac, Control-J on a PC, Jasper reads the text that you have written before your cursor and does his best to continue writing. Think of it like telling a human assistant to keep writing while you enjoy a refreshing beverage. Jasper, keep writing for me. When you do this, Jasper will look for patterns, instructions, and clues based on your previous text to decide what to write next. Remember, to better understand how Jasper decides what to write, reference the How Jasper Thinks section in Bootcamp. You can always go back and visit it for a quick refresher. Now, before you actually hit Compose, you need to provide Jasper with relevant details and instructions to guide his outputs. There are two ways to influence Jasper's writing. The first is adding information in the input fields on the left-hand side of a document. First is the title section. Jasper will look at this title for context when writing, so name it appropriately. If you don't want Jasper to reference this title when writing, simply click the toggle to hide it from Jasper's view. You can toggle it on and off as you write to add or remove extra context for Jasper. Let's say we're writing a blog post about how to care for your lawn. In the title section, I would write the actual title of the blog post, 8 Tips for a Greener Lawn. Below the title field is the content description and brief field. This is where you will input simple instructions about what you want Jasper to write about. Think of it once again as if you were writing simple instructions to another human writer. Continuing the lawn care blog post example, I might put this in the content brief. Write a blog post entitled 8 Tips for a Greener Lawn. It should include tips for homeowners in the United States. Write about St. Augustine grass and zoysia grass. Now you can move on to tone of voice. Here you can be as creative as you want. For a blog post about lawn care, you could use scientific or professional, but a more fun tone of voice might be Bavila. That should do nicely. You can always play around with this till you get the exact tone and feeling out of Jasper that you want. Finally, let's discuss the keywords input field. This is an often misunderstood element of a document. You see, adding keywords makes it more likely that Jasper will include those keywords the next time that he generates content. However, this does not guarantee that he will include them though. Jasper is an expert at writing, and he does a great job of not overloading a keyword when it's not relevant. Here, we'll use lawn care as a key word. It is very important to know that the text inside of the title, content brief, tone of voice, and keyword input fields influence the output every single time Jasper writes text inside of a document. You'll notice that as you write longer content, Jasper will keep referencing what's in those sections and start to repeat himself throughout a document if it isn't updated or adjusted. Of course, this isn't ideal. There are two solutions to this. One, the quick and fast solution is to toggle on and off each of the sidebar inputs as you write. This will allow or prevent Jasper from seeing and using them anymore. Click the toggle button off next to the field that you want Jasper to no longer see and consider in his output. The second option, which we highly recommend, is to continually update the sidebar inputs as you work through a document. This will help give Jasper a fresh perspective on that section that he is writing for you in that moment. For instance, let's go back to the 8 Tips for a Greener Lawn blog post example. After my introduction paragraph, the first tip that I'll write about is water your lawn regularly. I'll make this a heading, and I want Jasper to write a paragraph underneath it. Once again, you can update the inputs in a variety of ways, but to get Jasper to focus exclusively on this tip when he writes, I would do this. Delete the content in the title, content brief, and keywords and update them to guide Jasper. The title can now be the first tip that we want Jasper to write about. Water your lawn regularly. And the content description and brief will update it to say, write a paragraph about the importance of watering St. Augustine and zoysia grass. Talk about how many inches of water each one should get and how frequently to water. And the keyword I want to use in this section is inches. Now when I hit Compose, Jasper will pull in that updated information and use it to guide what he writes next. Remember, you don't have to update the sidebar inputs as you go, but try doing that if you're not getting the results that you want out of Jasper. A few final elements left to discuss include the output length and saving a document. In the sidebar, you'll see options for changing the number of words Jasper writes when you hit Compose. S, M, and L. These stand for shorter, medium, and longer. Shorter is for 20 to 25 words, medium is 50 to 55 words, and longer is 110 to 115 words. Try generating content using these different output lengths to see the difference. Most users either use M or L when composing in a document. Keep in mind though that you'll find sometimes when using the longer output lengths that Jasper can lose focus at the end of a generation and start to write lower quality or off-topic content. Also remember that as you're writing in a document, you can always see the total amount of words that you've written right here in a document. Now for saving a document and a document history. Your document is automatically saved as you write, but to better organize it, you can name that document and then save it in the document section. You can view and restore past versions of any document going back 7 days. Here's how to open and restore a previously saved version. In the top right of a document, locate the 3 dots, then select Document History. From there, you can choose a previously saved version and restore it. Good luck!